What makes you feel embarrassed by your own country? This happened a few years ago in Kuwait. We were hosting an Olympic tournament, and during the medal ceremony, instead of playing Kazakhstan's actual national anthem, we played its parody from the movie Borat. The guy playing the music downloaded it from YouTube and didn't pay attention. It was a parody full of insults. I had to apologize to a friend from Kazakhstan when this happened, even though he thought it was hilarious. There's so many lol, I'll go with the latest. Last week a Solidarity fridge was placed in a street in Salvador, fourth biggest city in Brazil. This is a project where they leave a fridge where people can donate food, and the homeless can take it. It was stolen less than 24 hours after being placed. Scottish people can be really aggressive and rude. Especially in the more populated areas, and especially with what we call Spice Boys. Like, a group of guys were making fun of me for moving past them and says sorry. Scottish girls can be as rude too. People always think it's just the English, but no, Scotland is full of really rude people. Team USA here. We have top-shelf medical talent and resources, yet going in for the simplest of medical treatment, never mind something huge, is a fucking logistical and financial nightmare. From every aspect, hidden costs, jump through hoops, bullshit insurance, out-of-network provider scams at in-network facilities, denied claims, and my personal favorite, even if you manage to successfully navigate the health insurance minefield, you still wind up getting raped financially. After that, the accountability of the medical professionals for errors and misdiagnosis are almost non-existent. Couple that with the pay to prescribe drug pushers in the white coats. Why, in 2019, we tolerate this corrupt system is beyond comprehension. In the US, the mass shootings. It's beyond awful and shouldn't happen here. Obviously it shouldn't happen anywhere. It's surreal to see two events in one day. Came here to say this. Two in less than a day. Always makes me think of that Onion article with the headline, "Politicians say nothing can be done in only country here this happens." No way to prevent this, says only nation where this regularly happens. The Onion has a template into which they insert the location of the shooting, and the number of victims, and every time a mass shooting happens they re-release the exact same article with the exact same headline. Here's a link to today's article. https://www.theonion.com/no way to prevent this says only nation where this R18369497115. The state of our roadsides and towns. For such a proud country, collectively we have a really funny way of showing it. I'm actually genuinely embarrassed when tourists have to see some of the filth, especially in cities like Glasgow. After the first sentence I instantly knew you were talking about Scotland. It's an absolute joke. Fly tippers everywhere in the countryside. You can pull up at the side of any rural road with a wall or ditch next to it and you can pretty much guarantee there will be loads of black bags, couches, old fridges and plenty of other shit. Even on main roads you see cunts just turfing shit out the window. There's no need for it. You've already loaded it into your car, why not just take it to the tip? It's a beautiful country ruined by the pricks who live here. How behind Germany is on internet and education. The following statement got edited to correct a false fact that I confused with the quality initiative you're about to read about. I even heard that there was a quality initiative of 500 mil euro for education, and exactly €0 of that went into further education. Also, the spending of the budget already going into further education for teachers is going down each year. And how ridiculous some political positions are. For example, Annegret Kramp-Karrenbauer is the one responsible for the German army, although she has no experience in that field. Just makes me wonder if they roll dice up there to determine who is managing what. My country became an independent state for only 8 seconds. Long version, the president of my country declared the independence on the parliament during a speech. Just to dismiss it 8 seconds after on the same speech, he taught that would help on the negotiations between us and the country we tried to seek independence. We haven't had a government in place since January 2017 because our two main parties won't speak to each other. Because of that, decisions regarding the daily running of the country aren't happening, so Westminster are making decisions for us, including some incredibly controversial ones. These decisions have resulted in me having a very heated debate with my in-laws on a Sunday afternoon. Don't forget police officers telling scared young girls who call 112 after being kidnapped to calm down and no, I can't stay on the phone with you, we have other calls. Or, the cherry on top, when that young girl sobs and says I'm scared, the idiot replies with who are you scared of, young lady? Come on. We don't always win in hockey. It's been a while, gang. America long ago decided it was a good sport, and they have 10x the people, and the colder European countries are always a threat now, too. I think the Vancouver Olympics might have been our last real moment of glory, and even that was a squeaker. Saudi Arabia. Where do I start? I can drive now, so there's progress. You can also travel on your own as of this week. A decision they made which I truly admire. So many women were only able to travel with their husband/guardian's permission. As a teacher, it was always such a pain traveling with girls on an overseas trip. All of the girls would have their travel visas in their passports, and some security guard on a power trip, or new and poorly trained, or just super conservative and wanting to put us through the ringer, would insist on calling over his supervisor, and then we'd have to call every single girl's father, even though we already had the visa that required the dad's permission in the first place. We took to having multiple copies of a letter, in Arabic and English, signed by the dad, mom, and school superintendent on school letterhead, just to speed up the process. We handed them out like candy to whoever tried to slow us down. This change will be a huge improvement for our students. Can't wait to talk to everyone about it. We colonized half the fucking world but bitch about illegal immigrants. What always makes me laugh is how any Western immigrants in other countries always call themselves expats. I'm British living in Indonesia. It is fucking amazing how well treated I am here. People are always friendly AF and want to chat to me about the UK because they are genuinely interested in other cultures. They are so respectful and even try to give me gifts and shit just because I talk to them. They'll always offer me local fruits and shit and give me advice on places to visit as well. I always say hi to people in the local language and smile and let them take selfies with me. I'm kinda tall, so they do this a lot, and seeing how fucking happy that makes people here is just the best thing in the world. Then I think about how those people would probably get treated in Newcastle, where I am from, and it literally makes me shudder. It's a long list, We're one of the most religious countries on earth, it's a dangerous place for women, and we're homophobic AF. Our education scores are consistently at the bottom of the world rank. We sabotage sex ed reform initiatives, which accounts for our high teen pregnancy rate. We have yearly cold crisis in which the children living in the poorest areas literally freeze to death due to a lack of infrastructure, and we're patriotically blind about all of the above. Finland is full of racist assholes. https://www.theguardian.com/world/2018/November/28/people of African descent face dire picture of racism in EU. The fact that we focus on the wrong things. We focus on abortion more than hundreds and thousands of kids who are in foster care and need good homes. We focus on the rights of guns then how all these fucked up people are getting them. We focus on keeping people out of the country then helping them get in legally. Etc. And yes, I'm American. One thing I hate about Germany is the way some of us try to lecture people in other countries how to handle things. We tell the Greece how they should improve their economy by not spending money. We tell the Britons that they are stupid for voting Brexit. We tell the Italians that they should work harder. Etc. 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 A little more respect for the other people way of life would be nice here. Norway. We castrated gypsies as late as the 1970s. We committed a genocide on our native people, the Sami, and forbid them from speaking, reading or learning their own language. Our current government is letting China financially bully them into ignoring their many gruesome human rights violations. Especially considering the fact that our country is the one that awards the Nobel Peace Prize. Our current PM, Erna Solberg, refused to meet with the Dalai Lama when he came to visit, all because China hates him. I'm incredibly ashamed of the fact that our government still hasn't condemned the government of the USA for their human rights violations and anti-democratic actions, especially the current concentration camps they have on the border. At the moment, I am not very proud of my country and the vicious ignorance we are allowing ourselves to sink into. On a more positive note, I'm incredibly proud of how my countrymen handled the 2011 Oslo bombing and Utøya massacre, where almost 80 people were massacred, most of them children. We responded with nothing but love, not hate, which I think was the right way to go. When I saw news articles about a mass shooting, I initially skipped over them because I thought they were talking about yesterday. They weren't? Are you in the USA? Because I read about a mass shooting that happened today or yesterday and breezed over it because I thought it was from last week. 3 in the last 24 hours. 3. Oh fuck, I've only heard about 2. Chicago, Dayton, El Paso. That's so fucked, thanks. Most Chicago shootings don't get reported because they're so frequent. It's pretty fucked up that we're at the point where there have been more mass shootings in 2019 than days. We've averaged more than 1 a day. I didn't even realize that. I was thinking about the shooting in California last weekend, and between these other ones, never heard about the ones in Chicago. Skeptical. Chicago has insane rates of gun violence. A lot of it goes unreported because it's expected. You see, nobody panics when things go according to plan. Even if the plan is horrifying. If I told people that a gangbanger was going to get shot, or a busload of soldiers was going to get blown up, nobody would panic. Because it's all part of the plan. Heath Ledger as the Joker really nailed it on this. 1. Mass genocide and suppression of the indigenous people. 2. Those who continue the cycle of suppression with disparaging comments and jokes about drunk, lazy Indians. Do us all a favor and crack a book. For anybody that believes that racism is dead in Canada, you clearly haven't read the comments on any news article about indigenous peoples. Edit: if you go on /Canada and sort by controversial and past year, the second highest post is Happy National Indigenous Peoples Day. We just had peaceful manifestations for fair elections and a lot of people were arrested for no reason, including the guy, who was just jogging nearby. Also we have a law about insulting the feelings of religious people, a law about insulting members of government, and a law about posting anti-government posts on internet. That would be an immediate red flag for me. You'd never get British people talking about our British identity, because you'd so rarely find people who refer to themselves as British unless they're trying to talk to someone from the USA. If you were Scottish or Welsh you'd talk about that, and if you were English you wouldn't talk about it at all. We had a very healthy and innovative aerospace industry, then just said fuck it. Where are you from? Yeah, but Canada makes sense. De Havilland made some great planes including the Dash 8Q1/2/3/400 which, when de Havilland closed, was bought by Bombardier, who are now selling pretty much all their aircraft plans to other companies. For example, the CS-100-300 from Bombardier is now an Airbus A220-100-200. I have a good reason cause of events that recently took place in my city, Białystok in Poland. We've hosted an LGBT parade and let's just say that it resulted in some nasty beatdowns and fights. Police had to use tear gas, helicopters and other stuff which is highly uncommon here. You can read about it online. Thing is, people in my city are quite friendly but this parade attracted all sorts of nasty nationalists from all around the country. Still Poland's reputation went even further downhill, not to mention my city in particular. Not country but Alabama, and the whole sister fucker thing, you ever do Omegle? Well, I have to tell people I'm from California just so people will talk to me. You say Alabama and people ask you all sorts of questions. Why are you here? Just go fuck your sister. Do you have all your teeth? Shouldn't you be in your garden? Do you have sex with goats/sheep? I get that a lot of people joke like this but a lot of people are dead serious and it's infuriating. It's funny cause when you look at what we actually produce ourselves we are probably one of the most reliant countries on foreign products in the world. Don't want any of that foreign muck, screamed the man as he stormed off into Aldi to buy another crate of cheap Eastern European lager. I'm an American, I love America. We do many things right. One thing we do extremely wrong is glorifying bad people. Someone shoots up a school. Put their name and photo in the mass media. Make them a hero to other shickos. Athlete rapes someone. No big deal. Rapper is a horrible person. No biggie, let's just keep glorifying them and letting them get rich with no repercussions. It's disgusting. I'm not a history expert, but from what I know, we started 2 wars, and I'm pretty certain we lost both. We definitely lost the second one. Many scholars do in fact argue it was German aggression that started World War I. They had such an aggressive expansion policy. German fears of encirclement meant that they needed buffer states. Although they didn't plan the start of World War I, they definitely encouraged it. The thing that didn't happen at that square in that year on that day,